Hello, welcome back. We're at PDAC and we're nearing the end of day 3, and I'm with my friend James Sykes, the CEO of Baselode Energy. James, good to see you.
Hey Peter, how's it going?
Good, good. Haven't seen you in, 3 months now?
About that, yeah.
Beginning of December, Mines of Money, London.
Yeah, it's been a while, so it's nice to catch up.
Yeah, likewise. Look, those less familiar, why don't you just give us a brief overview as to who the company is, and then we can dive in.
Yep. Baselode Energy is uranium exploration, northern Saskatchewan's Athabasca Basin area. We have a concept that we're looking for near-surface, basement-hosted, high-grade uranium deposits. And we've been very fortunate in our first drill program to make such a discovery, and now we're looking for more.
Good, really good. So, obviously, you're pretty cashed up. When we spoke to you back in December, we were talking about how cashed up you were. You're even more so. There's an even bigger war chest there. So we were sort of talking earlier, you've got about 20 million now in the bank. Just talk us through a little bit about the cap structure and what's in the bank, and I guess how you're looking at this year.
Yeah, so 20 million in the bank. We did that 9 million placement at the end of 2023. And then earlier on in January of this year, we had a deal brought in front of us that we thought it was the right opportunity at a higher premium than most of our raises. So we thought it was a great opportunity to raise another 6 million. So we've just basically raised about 14 million flow through in the past 3 months. And we've got about another $5-6 million in working capital. So we've got 20 million overall. We do have a 12 million exploration budget or exploration mandate this year that we have to spend our flow through, at least $12 million worth of the flow through by December 31st of this year. So we've got a lot of drilling planned.
Okay, how many rigs have you got up there?
Currently 1.
Okay.
We're just starting out with 1 on our Catharsis project, but then by May and June of this year, we'll be having 2 drills spinning on 2 different projects and then on to 1 project.
Okay, good. And so just talk me through the rationale of doing, because you already had quite a big drill budget already. What was the rationale behind taking this? You were saying there was people were offering cash at a bit of a premium, were they?
Yep. Yeah, so there's a number of factors. So after we did the last raise, we kept having some of our costs increasing. So the drillers came back and said, well, our costs are going up. Our helicopter company came back and said our costs going up. We know that fuels have gone up, food's gone up. So as we were planning all of that in December and January, we noticed that we had to take some resources and funds that we were going to put on projects and start taking away and just shifting things around too much. So when this recent deal came in front of us, we thought it was the greatest thing, because then we can keep all of our exploration plans intact, and we'd be able to make it all happen the way that we envision, the way that we want to get it done, instead of, again, doing piecemeal here, not fully completing work that we want to do on certain projects. So yeah, it made absolute sense, and it allows us to increase on some of our projects, which we've just done on our Catharsis project too.
Good, okay. And talk me through, obviously you were just saying there you've got 1 drill up and running at the moment. Roll into the summer, you'll have a couple of rigs up. How are you targeting and how are you using those use of funds in terms of making initial discoveries at here?
Oh, it's all drilling. Everything we do is basically drilling as much as possible. We've already covered all of our projects with geophysics. We've defined all of our targets. We use an approach that has worked for us very nicely. It has delivered results quite frequently. And so we will be testing a number of drill targets on multiple projects. Right now we've got about 7 to 8 drill targets planned on Catharsis. That should bring us into about April, end of March at the very earliest. And then in May we've got 2 targets planned for our Bear project. When we get out back onto Ackio itself, we have to finish off drilling the deposit. We've got extensions that we want to look for. On strike, we've got depth extensions, we've got sandstone targets we want to look for, and then our hook program has another 3 or 4 target areas that we want to drill. All in, we've got over 20,000 meters planned on 4 different projects throughout 2024.
Okay, and just remind people where things are at the moment. So obviously you did quite a lot of drilling last year, you made the discovery. I don't think there's a resource on the, not yet, is there? But just tell us a little bit about the intersections you're receiving in the grade and how it's starting to shape up.
Oh, Ackio is wonderful. We've got large intercepts, quite often over 30 meters. We've got great grades that range anywhere from 0.3 to 1%. We see typical Athabasca grades. I would say our average grade's about 0.3, probably on all the mineralization that we've released. But it's near surface, And I think that's one of the big takeaways, where mineralization starts at about 25 meters beneath the surface. That's the width of a hockey rink. Very narrow. It's easy to access that. We discovered a second zone of near surface mineralization, so now we have two of them. So once you strip off the overburden, you've got two zones of mineralization that could be mined out. So we'll continue advancing Ackio and just trying to make it look as ripe as possible and ready to move forward in the extraction phase.
Good. Okay. There's what I want to touch on as well is obviously you've got 20 million in the bank. Your market cap ranges from around 30 to 40 million at the moment. Enterprise value 10 to 20. We're in what you'd probably call a uranium bull market right now. Where's is it because it's early stage? Do you think you're not receiving perhaps a valuation that should support what you've currently done and what you have planned forward? Or is it just doesn't matter what commodity you're in, no one's really paying for, I guess, potential at the moment?
I think it's no matter what commodity you're in, nobody's paying attention for anything. But we know that in the uranium space, there are people paying attention. They want to see results. They want to see discoveries. And now, of course, everybody does. The companies doing the drilling, the companies exploring, they always want to make a discovery. So that's the big trick of it all right now, especially in this uranium market where things are hot, and we know that we're pretty confident things will continue to improve and spot prices will go higher. We'd like to have another discovery under our belt while this market is hot. I still consider this to be very early in this cycle, that the price will go higher. We'll see more things being developed on the uranium side of things, and we think it's got a very long future ahead of it. So having a discovery this early in our repertoire and in our phase, in the company's life cycle, I guess, is absolutely incredible and important to move forward.
Do you think, because obviously when we spoke last time, there was this potential for 12 million or using infrastructure around you, which in theory could then reduce significantly the time that it takes to actually start getting some cash flow from most business. Do you think that's sort of being overlooked at the moment? And I guess before you're able to get to a potential point where you can start thinking about that scenario, what sort of scale are you really looking for at Ackio and the surrounding licenses to be able to start thinking about planning for that?
I don't think scale really matters. Everyone's looking for scale, yes, but if you look at the history of mining in Saskatchewan, over half of the mined uranium has come from 47 different deposits. So there's been a number of just little deposits. Some of them are less than 1 million pounds and they still get mined out via open pit. If you're in the right jurisdiction and the mill's already built, there's good potential that open pit can be mined much quicker and much easier than going down 500 meters through a geoengineering hazardous scenario that could flood a mine site. You don't have to worry about that with open pits. So we do see that the potential is there. We haven't advanced anything on it, which is why we're still focused on really trying to get to that resource stage, get to that resource estimate by the end of this year, and then we'll progress after that. But we're doing little things here and there to help us move things along immediately after we have an initial resource.
Okay, and do you think is that the plan after this? Obviously you've got a lot of drilling going on this year. Is that by the end of that, are you hopeful that you'll be in a position where you'll get resource?
That's one of the intentions for sure. We have to complete drilling on Ackio, at least trying to find as much mineralization between surface and 200 meters depth. If we're discovering more mineralization at depth, I think we would leave that out of a resource and continue drilling that, because it would just cost more, it would take longer to do. So if we have an initial resource that's from surface to 200 meters depth and potential for more at depth, I think that's a great starting scenario.
Obviously, you've just released a few different announcements, and it seems as though the market probably hasn't reacted the way that you'd have assumed. It seems they've run off an exodus at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. There's definitely I would say that they're very flighty, and at the sign of any, I wouldn't even say it's bad news. I think what we released was excellent news. It was a technical success. Everybody's waiting for discovery. Yes, again, we're always waiting for discoveries. That's why we're doing what we're doing. But you can't always make a discovery. Then it's not exploration at that point. But we do the best that we can to really limit our exploration dollars and picking what we think are the best targets to yield the right structures, the right fluid environment. Because if you don't have those, you're never going to have a uranium deposit. So the 3 holes that we released, our first hole hit elevated radioactivity right at the structural contact that we're looking for. So we found it very encouraging. We followed up dip with 2 more holes, and we found amazing alteration. Things that I have seen in drill core in other deposits, and they were mineralized. And I look at these rocks and I question, like, why the heck aren't these mineralized? It looks like they should. We found redox style alteration, which is exactly what you need to find for these environments. We found brittle structures with hematite. We've seen all the signs that catharsis has the right structural environment, has the right fluids moving, and I think it's just a matter of time before we find a uranium deposit on catharsis. So hence why we increased our drill program. We went from 2,000 meters to 4,000 meters now. We've added more targets because we want to fast track discovery. We're all about discovery this year. We think now is the time when the market is hot. Investors are looking at the uranium space. If we make a discovery, we think we'll be all right. We'll be well accepted in this marketplace. But we have to drill to get there.
Yeah. And then just on that, so obviously you've put a couple of holes into the target. They show very good geological indicators that there's something going to be there. The market's seen that those 3 holes haven't hit, and they're not very happy with that. But obviously you've got 20,000 meters this year, multiple targets. And
yeah.
I guess just even looking at Hook and Ackio itself, I mean, say for example, which I don't believe for a minute that you don't even kill any of the other targets, but say for example that was it. Surely what you've discovered at Hook and Ackio and the potential there of a step out, they look like they could be pretty sizable deposits in themselves.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. Ackio is looking like it has all the makings to be a mine.
Yeah.
Like, it has everything going for it. Just once we get to that resource estimate by the end of the year, I think we'll be fine. I would assume that the market's going to hate it just because they've hated everything that we've done. But you know what? We're doing what we're doing, and we're doing it right. And I'm happy with everything that we're doing. And I think it's only a matter of time until we make more discoveries. And I think it's only a matter of time until we prove that Ackio is larger. Some of the targets that we have at Ackio, if we're right on those, they should be whoppers. So it's 2024 is looking like a great year. We're cashed up for it. We're bullish on uranium. We're bullish on exploring. So I'm stoked about what we're going to do. And I do think that we've got all the potential for a new discovery.
No, I completely agree, and I'm loving following the story. So James, thanks for giving us stuff, mate.
Thanks, Peter.